looking for range of motion. This is our neutral, okay? Where I'm keeping this so that it becomes relevant, that this is 0 for everything. We are not talking of abduction, adduction, rotation, flexion, extension, nothing. Then this, if you look from top, is rotation in this way. So this is external rotation, all right? When you look, this being 0 degrees, when it comes to here, this angle becomes 45 and this becomes 80. It's not going into 90, but that's okay. Each person's tightness is different. So this range of motion, if you have written in your examination findings on day 1, it could be of relevance to you for your subsequent follow-ups, where you know whether the patient is really doing well or not doing well, and whether the patient is faking when he is not doing well, where actually he has done well. Internal rotation, internal rotation is this up to there. So ideally, if he is able to reach the interscapular area, which is around D7, we are looking at 90, 95. So then little less is 80, and then this is maybe 70, and then maybe this is 65, and this is maybe 60 or 55. So that is an approximation. See, each of these degrees, you are not putting a goniometer and saying that. This is for you 55. So each time it will be 55 for you. Understand? For me, it could be 65, but for you, that is. So we are talking about the relevance of it in the follow-up, or comparing it with the opposite side. There are a lot of people who are born with external rotation tightness. They are just having 45 degrees on both sides, but both are asymptomatic. So that is normal. Understand? The relevance comes if there is a symptom or if there is an improvement or worsening in the follow-up. All right? So that's internal rotation. Then true abduction and total abduction. True abduction means we are talking about glenohumeral movement. So glenohumeral movement can be checked when you stabilize the scapula. So you are holding the lateral border of scapula, you are holding the spine of scapula, and you are stabilizing the scapula, and then seeing the range. So this range that I am looking at is glenohumeral or true abduction. And then you leave it and then take up. This is full abduction. Full abduction will mean all those 5 characters that we talked of in the initial ANAT part of it. That is the glenohumeral, the scapulothoracic, the acromioclavicular, the sternoclavicular, and the subacromial space. All those put together is giving us the full abduction. So you look for that. Then look for flexion extension. Now this, what I was talking about, is talking in terms of passive ROM. So there is a difference you will have in different pathologies, where the passive ROM is different and the active ROM is different in its findings. Forward elevation is also flexion. Some people term flexion as forward elevation, and this is extension. All right? So flexion, this is 90 degrees, and that's 180 degrees, and that's say about 45 degrees, or going up, it's almost 70 degrees. Understood? So this is passive ROM for the shoulder. Active ROM is what performed by the patient. So straight up, that's active movement. So you look for a difference between active and passive. What is the difference? The difference is, in an acute calcific rotator cuff tendinitis, the patient has said, since yesterday morning I had some pain, by evening the pain worsened, night I could just not sleep, so I came straight now. Morning 8 o'clock, patient is holding the hand, and you can literally see that agony on the patient's face. You may find that there is a little bit of halka swelling anterior subacromially, which may be tender or may not be tender. But you tell the patient to relax, and gently, if you do them gently, sudden will give pain. If you do them gently, they are able to do so much of flexion or so much of abduction and then give pain. But you tell them to actively raise it, they say, "Sawal hi nahi uthta hai. I'm just not able to move it. I could not get out of my yesterday's clothes," and you can see that. That's the kind of pain that they are experiencing. So active movements not possible in an acute non-traumatic setting. With passive gentle movements possible partially, Most likely it's a crystal-induced tendinitis, and the most common crystal being calcific in the shoulder. Elsewhere it could be other things.